Pero ang mas affected talaga kung sino man ang manalo sa sa United States na election is Philippines. China, in a way, yes, kasi magbabago yung mukha ng laban. It will, kung si Trump ang mananalo, I think ang gitgitan between China and the United States is more on economic and trade. Kasi yun yung ano ni Trump eh. Doon din sila kung titignan mo yung panahon niya na siya ang presidente, ganun ang gitgitan eh. Hindi siya masyado sa defense and military. Pero pag si Harris ang manalo, baka tuloy-tuloy pa rin yung build up ng United States, ng military build up nila sa Asia Pacific in preparation for whatever, na hopefully it's not a war preparation. At saka syempre magiging anxious ang China and Russia on that, so magkakaroon ka pa rin ng tension, but it's military, which is dangerous, more dangerous yan eh kaysa doon sa trade na bakbakan.
Ma'am, marami pong mga rason talaga na bakit magkakaroon po ng lack of sympathy ang mga kapitbahay natin sa ASEAN. Gaano kalaking point yung ni-raise po ni former Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong last February? Yung sinabi niya, sure ba kayo, Pilipinas, na gusto niyong maging battleground ng dalawang nag-uumpugang bansa? Eh parang ganun yung iisa yung saloobin ng mga kapitbahay natin sa ASEAN na ang naging spokes on that issue ay si former Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong.
Ng Singapore, no? Okay. Tama. Kasi actually, yung pagkakasabi nga ng former Prime Minister ng Singapore is parang ano na yun eh, parang it's a question na lang eh. Pero kung titignan mo ang sitwasyon at this time, under BBM, tayo ang battleground actually ng dalawang nag-uumpugang bato. And it's happening already. And it's been happening for certain period of time. Ang tanong kasi, bakit tayo nagiging battleground? Ano yung problema? Yung foreign policy kasi ng Pilipinas talaga is medyo leaning to the United States. We're very confrontational with China, na parang tingin natin kaya natin pero actually hindi naman. So ang sentiment kasi na yan ng former Prime Minister ng Singapore is actually the sentiment of other ASEAN countries. I'm not kidding. That is really the sentiments. And every time I had conversation and I attend a conference and it's attended by ASEAN countries at napapag-usapan ang Pilipinas, napapag-usapan ang regional security, peace and stability in the Asia-Pacific region, especially in Southeast Asia, laging nagiging topic ang Pilipinas kasi nga yung foreign policy na very much leaning and very much beholden to the United States, na sinasabi nila na baka pagmulan ng gulo ang magmula sa Pilipinas na apektado ang buong region. Yun talaga. So, yung mga statement ng mga ASEAN leaders and even former prime ministers, kasi nga 'di ba, sinabi ko nga doon sa post ko sa Facebook, ang ASEAN leaders kasi, they don't criticize directly other ASEAN countries and ASEAN leaders. Pero ipapackage nila ang message nila in such a way, it's either in a question or in a saying or in a statement na not pointing to specific country. But if you really think deeply, alam mo kung sinong pinatatamaan niya. Ganon sila eh. Kasi non-confrontational nga ang values na ina-uphold ng ASEAN at ng ASEAN countries. So pero kung mag-iisip ka, alam mo nang pinatatamaan is Pilipinas. Even Mahathir, no? The Prime Minister Mahathir of Malaysia, ilang beses na siyang nagsalita na makikita mo at iisipin mo, it's actually pertaining to the Philippines, pero hindi niya pinapangalanan ng Pilipinas. And even yung question na yon na sinabi nga ng former Prime Minister ng Singapore, it's already a question. Pero they know already that actually the Philippines is already the battleground ng dalawang nag-uumpugang malalaking bato, which is China and the United States. At kayo naman, pumapayag tayo na maging battleground, which is dapat hindi. Kasi hindi natin laban yan at hindi natin away yan. Sa kanila yan eh. So let them, whatever they want, they can. Sila magde-decide nun kasi both of them are sovereign state. Pero tayo, as a country, we should insulate ourselves from this fight because this is not our fight. And we will be at the disadvantage if we will allow our country to be used by any other country or any power like the United States. Kasi tayo ang kawawa niyan. At the end of the day, tayo pa rin ang kawawa niyan. At saka yun nga, nasisira ang tinatawag nating good relation with other countries. Ngayon, hindi na lang China ang nagre-react. Russia is reacting already. And Russia, believe me, will not just sit down and just let the United States do its own dirty works through us. I don't think Russia will allow that. Kasi katulad ng mid-range missile system na nakadeploy sa Ilocos, di ba? Nasa lawag nga ata yan eh. So, nagre-react ang Russia dyan. Hindi lang yung China. Precisely because there is something to it. Bakit ka nag-deploy, 'di ba? Bakit ka nag-deploy ng missile doon? Ano yung purpose mo? Kasi that is the first time in Asia Pacific thus far after the Cold War. After Cold War, ito yung first time I think, or even before the Cold War, kasi yung Cold War sa Cuba eh. It's the same as the Cuban Missile Crisis na nasa history ng Cold War eh. So, yun yung sinasabi ko. So, parang nangyayari sa Pilipinas, we're creating enemies rather than friends. And mind you, ang ASEAN counterparts are not really happy with the way we do things, especially when you talk about militarization ng United States of the Philippines. Kasi militarization to eh. Deployment of mid-range missile system, it's a militarization. 9 EDCA bases, creating some installation pa na military and deployment of troops, and then our relationship with Japan, may RAA and all of these things. These are all military and defense eh. Hindi naman siya economic eh.
Opo.
So, ang comfortable ang ibang ASEAN countries of what's going on in the Philippines.
Opo.
And at the same time, hindi lang yung ASEAN countries, other countries in Asia as well.
Opo.
And even beyond. Kasi napapag-usapan niya ng mga experts on international relations and geopolitics, which I am also a part of. Kasi mayroon kaming coalition and we call it the Multipolar World Coalition. So, mga expert to from different countries, including European experts and even American experts, napapag-usapan talaga namin na ang Pilipinas talaga, because of its foreign policy under BBM, nalalagay tayo dun sa parang hotspot na pwedeng pagmulan ng gulo, which is hindi maganda at very sad reality for the country.
Opo.
Yun.
Prof, naninimbang rin po ba ang mga nakakausap po ninyong eksperto, mga iba't ibang lahi, hinggil po sa magiging resulta ng US elections by November? Malapit na po yan, Prof. 3 weeks, by 3 weeks or ilang less than a month na lamang natitira, botohan na po sa US. Kung magbabago po ba ang political landscape sa ASEAN regarding sa ating pong ugnayan sa US at ng Pilipinas?
Oo, pinag-uusapan din parang isang topic na palaging pinag-uusapan ang United States election this November. So isa yan sa pinaka-hot topic ng pinag-uusapan ng mga geopolitical expert, international relation expert sa mga circles, no, even in WeChat or even in different groups, no, and even online, no, dinidiscuss din. And sometimes I participate in this kind of discussion with colleagues and friends, no, na who are in this kind of field. Pero ang namin, ang sinasabi lang na ang naririnig ko at ako rin ang analysis ko is whoever wins dun sa election nila ng United States, I think the ASEAN countries except the Philippines walang problema kasi yung foreign policy nga nila is very stable. So it's not dependent on the United States. So sa kanila, kung manalo si Trump, okay lang. Manalo si Harris, okay lang. They will deal with the United States the way na kung paano nila ginagawa ngayon. So hindi siya ganoon ka lakas ang impact sa ibang ASEAN countries. Though, ang pinaka maganda lang siguro is sinasabi din ng iba na pag halimbawa si Trump ang nanalo, probably the military build-up in the Asia-Pacific region may stop or may be reduced or may change. Na ikakalibrate yan at marireduce kasi kung titignan mo si Trump, ayaw niya na gumastos at ayaw niya na nai-stretch masyado ang military capacity ng United States outside of its own borders. So kung si Trump, pero kung si Harris, ang perception, it will continue kasi Democrat and Biden is a Democrat. So baka it's a continuation lang ng mga policies ni Biden. Kasi nga siya yung vice president ni Biden, 'di ba? So, at saka Democrat yan. So, ganun yung kanilang sinususugan. So, parang ganun ang debate. Pero sa Pilipinas kasi crucial. Kasi we don't know if Trump will support BBM still, if Trump will be elected as president. Kasi magkaiba sila, well, ang ano ni Trump nga, hindi naman siya masyado dyan sa mga militarization na yan, at hindi rin naman, hindi ko alam kung magkaka-jibe si Biden, si Trump at saka si BBM. So there's a possibility na mag-recalibrate ang United States when it comes to their approach and relations in terms of, support to the Philippines militarily and defense-wise sa Pilipinas kapag si Trump ang manalo. Pero kapag si Harris, we expect probably the same thing. Kasi nga, Biden's foreign policy, baka isususugan lang ni Harris yun. So, may ganun na dynamics. Pero ang mas affected talaga, kung sino man ang manalo sa United States na election is Philippines. China, in a way, yes, kasi magbabago yung mukha ng laban. It will, kung si Trump ang mananalo, I think ang gitgitan between China and the United States is more on economic and trade. Kasi yun yung ano ni Trump eh. Doon din sila kung titignan mo yung panahon niya na siya ang presidente, ganun ang gitgitan eh. Hindi siya masyado sa defense and military. Pero pag si Harris ang manalo, baka tuloy-tuloy pa rin yung build up ng United States, ng military build up nila sa Asia Pacific in preparation for whatever, na hopefully it's not a war preparation. At saka syempre magiging anxious ang China and Russia on that. So magkakaroon ka pa rin ng tension, but it's military, which is dangerous, more dangerous yan kaysa doon sa trade na bakbakan. Pero ang Pilipinas affected yan kasi hindi mo alam paano ang mangyayari sa sa BBM administration in terms of support kung si Trump ang manalo. So yun yung crucial doon. I think the current administrations in a BBM, they understand this. I hope they do. But I don't know really if they understand the consequences of things. So we will see kung anong mangyayari doon sa relationship ng so-called ironclad relationship ng United States and the Philippines. When you talk about the South China Sea, when you talk about military aid and defense, if Trump wins, baka magkaroon ng pagbabago yan.